Today, I'm joined by Cyn and Jason, the powerhouse couple behind Ryze branding. Cyn is a Sarasota native, brand strategist, and former homeschooling mom turned business builder who helps entrepreneurs truly understand branding versus marketing. And Jason, also known as the brand badass, brings decades of branding wisdom, a powerful redemption story, and a sharp ability to cut through ego and fluff to create the real results. Together, they help entrepreneurs turn confusion into clarity and brands into momentum. Welcome to the show, guys.
Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for having us.
So excited to have you on. I remember the first time I met you, Cyn, and I was just blown away by your personality and all of your energy. And I am just so excited about having this conversation today because after attending your workshop, I was just like enamored with all of the great content that you were providing. And so there's so many different things that we can talk about today. Let's start a little bit from how you guys got together and how this brand came to be realized because first of all, I love the name Ryze.
So I saw him first on a YouTube video for Evan Carmichael. That was his biggest client at the time. And Evan, I followed him and he did an interview with a friend of ours and he starts yelling at the camera. He's like, F the past. And for somebody who was living in the past all the time, this was eye-opening because no one ever said that to me. And so basically I stalked him and reached out to him until he paid attention to me.
True.
And his Instagram was really incredible. It was just full of all this business ideas and life ideas that I had never heard of before. So yeah, I just fell in love with everything that had written, everything that people were saying about him. And so I had to know who he was. So I stalked him until he paid attention to me. And I offered to work with him. I said, this is incredible. The world needs to see you. You are like this tiny portion of the world has seen you. Like, I want to help you be out there, right? But I was really bad at that.
It's really amazing how we come together, that we all have our own story. We all have so many different ways that we attract to our partner, our spouse. And I love hearing the back end, and social media throws in a totally different dynamic, right? People that we would have never potentially met before, they're right there available to us, potentially accessible through a DM or, just like watching them and watching the course of their life. Like it's fascinating.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I was kind of a lone wolf at the time and I wasn't big on connection. But connection is the bedrock of everything, right? I say friends are wealth now. The more friends, the wealthier you are, the more connections, the more opportunities. Every opportunity anyone's ever had has come through what?
Connection.
Exactly. It's not like an ant or a dog or a concrete building. It comes through someone we know, another human being. So I did not have a lot of opportunities when I was lone wolfing it. And so Cyn's really good at connecting, as I'm sure you know. And it was a big blessing for me.
And we all have our own skill sets and giftings and certain things that we just bring to the table. And that's what makes it so special, especially when you are a dynamic duo and you have, your different ways of navigating life. And then you bring it together, you become unstoppable, right? You can bring that energy into a place where you can create a dual vision. And so what you guys are doing is very, very cool. So I want to talk a little bit about too, the branding. So that is your sweet spot, marketing and branding, but helping people to understand what the difference is because a lot of people think it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, this is super common. The first question we ask in our workshops is, who can tell me the difference between branding and marketing? And the answers are pretty wild. Sometimes we'll get someone who nails it, but most of the time they kind of half understand it. And I think it's because the words are thrown around a lot, but never really defined or taught. And so I simplify it to just your brand is your reputation. Back in caveman times, people had reputations and they still do today. We just call it by a fancier word now, a brand. And your marketing is your best efforts to get the public or get the masses or get others to perceive your brand, your reputation, the way you want them to. Good marketing will get people to perceive your brand pretty much how you wanted them to. Bad marketing will get people to perceive your brand not the way you wanted it to.
So I have a lot of entrepreneurs watching this show, and And a lot of them are starting out just, trying to figure out those initial steps. So with regard to their brand and building this reputation, what would you say some of those first steps are? I know you had the cards at the workshop, which was very cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned them. These are our one-person cards. For the listeners, each card has a avatar or buyer persona on them, an ideal customer. So there's a frat bro, astrologer, a senior, a model.
The reason why we did that, though, is because I would get a lot of pushback with, I want to help everyone.
Yeah, we get that all the time. I want to help everyone.
Yes. And I love that. I love people. I want to help everyone too, but you just can't. It's not possible. And so this was born out of frustration because people weren't really understanding the idea of the one person enough. They weren't, and he is a
Some people,
visual.
yeah, people
He
are
is a
visual.
visual person, and so this for me, I'm not. So I can hear it, and I'm good. But these cards were born out of him being a visual person and me struggling to talk to people who are visual, and I had nothing to show them. And I want to point out that these are beautiful and he made them all himself.
I did. I'm a bit of a Renaissance man. We don't market that though. The point is, if I was consulting any business, especially those in the early stages, I would heavily recommend, actually I insist, that they commit to one person. We call it your one person or your ideal customer. And by doing that, it allows the business to gain way more traction, way faster for way less money. And that's really what most businesses are looking for. They want traction, fast, and cheap. And there's a way to do that, but not by helping everyone. It never happens. When you pick somebody, now you can use language that resonates with them in your flyers or on your business card or on your website. You can title your offers, your packages in ways that resonate with them. If I commit to, I don't know, a bubbly, feminine, Sarasotan woman or something that's my target, then I name my packages stuff like the pink package or bubbles package or bronze bubbles and silver bubbles and gold bubbles or something like. So it's still, you have that silver, bronze, gold package like any business might have, but it just resonates that much more and they feel a positive feeling. They feel connection to it. If I called it something like Business Mastery 1 and Business Mastery 2 and Business Mastery 3, they might bounce. Like it's not likely to resonate as well with my audience.
Because so I took two cards, right? One is a corporate pro and the other one is an astrologer. You can't use the same language with somebody in the corporate world or coming out of the corporate world and an astrologer. It's not going to resonate, right? And so that's what he's saying. And all these cards are all like that. They're all different people because like the new generation, this Gen X, no, they're not Gen X. Gen Z, they have no idea in comparison to something that's going to resonate with someone like me who's, I don't know,
Millennial,
I don't know, whatever, right? Because if I hear like their language, I'm never going to click on that or go to that event or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it feels uncomfortable because it's like, I want to get the corporate woman and the astrologer. I want to get the Gen Z and the millennial, but it's just greedy. Like it's just too ambitious, especially if you're starting out. You want to be a big fish in a small pond first. And all of the heroes and idols, business idols we look up to started the same way. If you go look at their biography, it was never, let me serve everyone and I'm going to try and get everyone. They all committed to a certain demographic, a certain audience, a certain ideal customer, and they tailored their stuff towards that person until they got a rep. They built their brand in that small pond. And then you can graduate to a bigger pond.
I love that visual. That's so great. And I hear it across the board all the time as well. And that they're trying to decide like, who is this individual? Because I do want to serve the world. And I think we all feel that way, don't we? We want to change the world. We want to make impact massively. We want to help a lot of people. But you are so correct in that if you try to serve everyone, you serve no one. Because then no one knows what you stand for at the end of the day. So for the person that does have 2, 3, 4 avatars that they love, that they're super passionate about, how would you go about helping them to make that decision for that one person? Like, what would you recommend for them? Because sometimes they're at a standstill and they're like, I know what I need to do to pick that person. Like, I know I need to pick one, but how do I do it? Do you have any specific advice on that?
Fantastic question. I love when people are passionate about multiple avatars and multiple groups. If we look at Beyonce as a Texan, has always loved country. It's not something she magically discovered later. She was raised on country, singing it, dancing it with her parents, line dancing, whatever. And that love for country was fighting the love for R&B, right? She had to pick an audience. She couldn't really serve a country audience and an R&B audience at the same time. Not effectively. Not well. It would pull her in two different directions, and she would have to record two albums and do two different things, or try and fuse them and then like gamble that enough people from each would like the fusion or something. It's kind of a nightmare. And she knew I have to commit to one. And she chose R&B. I haven't talked to her personally, so I can't tell you how she made that decision. But it doesn't really matter how she made the decision. It just matters that she made the decision. Because by focusing on the R&B, she grew her reputation in that small pond, that R&B pond. Then she did movies, and now she's doing what?
Country, yeah.
Exactly. If we just have a little patience and humility to be like, I shouldn't bite off more than I can chew. If Beyonce has to commit to one audience for 5 years, 10 years, maybe I have to commit to one audience for 5 years, 10 years too. Like, am I going to outperform Beyonce on my first business or second business or what? It's like, it's just too much. But if you follow her footsteps and follow her example and you commit to one, 5 years from now, you'll get the other one that you were so passionate about. It just takes a little patience, a little humility to focus and serve one pun at first. If you are absolutely dead set on serving two or more, you can do what I call fusion. Well, I think anyone would call it fusion. It is a fusion where you, like I said, combine country and R&B. You become a very unique thing on the field. And sometimes a business will do this, and people will gasp and they'll be in awe, like, oh my God, I've never seen anyone combine these two things before. It's so cool. And you'll get your own little new crowd of fusion lovers. But when you do that, you do repel some of the extreme side of one and extreme side of the other. So if you fuse R&B and country, you will get a new crowd of fusion lovers. But a lot of those diehard R&B fans will be like, why are you ruining R&B? And a lot of the country fans will be like, why are you ruining country? And so you thought you were really hitting two audience, but actually you're not. Like, those diehards of those audiences of those groups you like might just be repelled. And it's fine, because when we become a magnetic brand, magnets repel. Like, we attract our audience, but we repel everyone else. And if you want to be magnetic, you got to be at peace with that.
Yeah, but that's the part most people don't like. They don't want to repel. They're like, "Oh, I don't want people to be mad at me." No one's mad at you. Um, and
Just
and as for like actually making the choice, it's just I suggest people freaking flip a coin. If you really can't, and you're like, "I love them both. I can't."
throw
Flip a
darts.
coin, throw darts, and ask someone else. Just pick one. Just pick one and go, because it makes your marketing, it makes your networking, it makes where you go and who you talk to so much easier. So when you get that card in your hand, you're like, you know where it goes in the bucket of this person is a possible lead, or this person has a network that may know someone, right? Because if you're just hoping that everyone's going to be that person, you are wasting time and you are losing money. And if you're not making money in your business, you have a hobby.
And really, what does it do? It simplifies everything. Every single thing that you do is so much easier. And you have that consistent pathway that you can keep moving forward with, keep progressing, versus like the 3 to 4 or even 2. You can be so deviated and chaotic in your mind with what are the next steps and multiple pathways. It can prevent you, like you said, from taking action the way that you would want to, ideally in an ideal world, and moving quick. No, this is all about time too. We want to think about how we're going to save time when we're building our brand, how we're going to create more awareness, how we're going to, participate in a way that the impact is going to be truly made. And if we're not clear on that messaging, then how are we really truly going to identify? And I love what you said about meshing it, because that's so fascinating when you think about bringing two brands together and creating a unique standpoint, a unique edge. Yes, that can work, but then you can repel both ends of the spectrum in the regards of the two audiences. So that's a powerful point and something that I think we all should be thinking about.
I love it. I'm glad you resonate. And I love that you mentioned the simplicity. Business can feel complex sometimes. We should be looking for ways to simplify as often as possible. And committing to one avatar or one ideal client is the best way to simplify, in my opinion. And I don't know if you believe in a higher power or your audience does, but it's sort of like till the field you're given, whatever's in front of you, whatever your life experiences have brought you to, pick one of those preferences and just start tilling the field, right? And you will grow a great crop eventually. And then you can move to another field.
Definitely lead with faith and start with that every day.
Yeah, and have faith in who you choose.
Yeah, that's really good that you said that, because having faith in your audience and who you choose, that they get it, they understand you, that they're your person, that they will find you. They will find
And they'll
you.
spread the word for you.
And that consistency matters, doesn't it? You just got to keep on putting it out there. And even on the days where you get no engagement, no interaction, you're still showing up. Something that I talk to my clients about constantly, showing up with that specific brand, that specific message, talking to that specific person. Like, they will find you. You have to just continue putting yourself out there.
Absolutely. And it helps with engagement too. If I post something random on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever the platform is, I, I'm likely not to get much engagement. But if I know that I'm talking to a group of academics and I've chosen academics as my audience, what do academics like? How-tos and learning and education. So if I post a how-to, I'll probably get some good engagement from the academics. They also like correcting people. So if I put a typo in my post, I might get engagement from that. But if I've chosen Gen Zers, TikTokers for my audience, and I post a how-to with a typo, like, they're looking for brain rot. They're looking for like a Minecraft meme or something. And I posted the completely wrong content. And then I'll be like, I'm getting no engagement and I've been doing it consistently for a year. And it's like, dude, you've been posting the wrong content consistently for a year. Who is your one person? Who is your ideal customer? And what do they resonate with? Do a little research. Take some time to understand someone before you serve them. The deeper we understand our audience, our person, the better we can serve them. And the shallower we understand whoever we've committed to, or we haven't committed to at all, the poorer we're able to serve them, the less effectively we can serve them. And business is about serving value to others. So if you can't serve them well, you're in trouble.
I also want to talk a little bit about your past clients, some of the people that you've worked with previously, and just kind of where you're going with everything, and also the expansion of the brand. Because when you talked in your workshop recently, you were talking about who knows who, and I love that example about community, people knowing you in the community, and just like how well are you known. So if you want to expand on your past clients and then also kind of move into the potential of increasing the capacity to build your brand nationwide and worldwide.
I love it. Great question. Friends or wealth. So our biggest client is Evan Carmichael. And I worked with him for almost a decade. And we took his following, his brand, from 1,000 subscribers to 3.5 million in that time. Very exciting. He's a genius. So he's good at what he does. But bringing me on board was when the real branding began. When he started, he had a website that allowed authors to sign up, entrepreneurial authors, and to write articles about entrepreneurship. And he had quite a lot of authors signed up, and his site had grown quite large. He was getting lots of hits, but he wanted to be more of an influencer. He wanted to be more on camera, get bigger on YouTube. He felt like YouTube was the next thing. And so we came up with a strategy. We helped him write his first book to build his credibility, and he put the whole website on hold. Like, he shut it down to focus on YouTube. And it was like the most ballsy thing ever. Like, who does this? He's having millions of views on his website and he has no audience on YouTube. And this was way back when like YouTube was just starting and the web was big, and he had his own message forums and stuff like that. And there was no infrastructure or like certainty or guarantee that any of this would translate to YouTube. So for him to put it on hold to focus on YouTube, or to shut it down to focus on YouTube, was huge. And it gave me a lot of faith in myself, because I'm suggesting we do this. I'm nudging towards this path and offering to help and build the brand. And I'm happy to build it on the web or on YouTube, like whatever you want kind of thing. But every time I give advice to entrepreneurs, there's always an element of courage involved. And most of them don't realize it and we don't talk about it. And it's just sort of there. And I'll give a piece of advice and they'll either take it or not. And if they don't, it like 95% of the time comes down to they're not courageous enough. Like I'll suggest committing to one person and they'll be like, oh yeah, but I don't want to turn away business and I really want to help everyone. And it's like, you're just not courageous enough. If you just tried this, like all the other businesses before you would succeed. Or I'll suggest having a flagship offer and they'll be like, but I want to offer like different packages. And some people bought this one and some people bought that one. If I commit to a flagship offer, they won't buy this one anymore. It's like fear, right? Fear. And if I tell Evan, I think you should shut down your website and go all in on YouTube, it's expected that someone would say no. But he actually volunteered to do it. So I was like, man, this guy's a baller. We're going to do some big things together. And so we did.
That's focus.
That is focus. We have a new card game for that coming up. Yeah, I don't know. Do you know Evan? He's pretty big.
Yeah, yes, I do. And I follow him and he's got great content. I've been following him for quite a while, actually. So
Glad to hear. Yeah, I developed his brand colors, helped him with his books. We got him working with bigger people.
Tony Robbins is his client. So yeah, I'm really proud of that. I have a whole Tony Robbins thing that I won't get into now, but yeah. But moving forward for us, I get a lot of pushback on the word branding. And so in 2026, one of the things that we're going to focus on is the foundations, because people still think it's a logo, it's a website, it's your clothes. Yes, we're matching because that's part of our brand, but it is not branding. So we will be focusing on business foundations going forward.
Yeah, those are brand assets. All these things is like, your logo, your colors, your style. These are all brand assets.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to reflect or express your brand. And since I stopped working with big shots like Evan and started helping local Sarasotan entrepreneurs, it's a totally different audience and it's a totally different one person. And so branding works for Evan. He has a branding budget and he understands investing in branding and he's happy to make the power moves and revolutionize his business for branding. People here that I've been networking with so far are not the same. They're not the same one person. They're not the same ideal client as Evan. And so I have to treat them differently, use different language. And so part of that language change will be stopping talking about branding as much and focus a bit more on business foundations.
yeah, and I love too that it can shift. So giving people permission to make that shift, like if they make a decision to work with a specific avatar and they do it for 5 years and they're like, you know what, this isn't a good fit anymore, or I want to go in a different direction and pivot. I think that's a great example of that too. And just helping everyone to recognize that we don't have to stay, like we make this decision. Sometimes that's why it's so hard. So they think, well, I've branded myself this way, so now I have to stay with this forever. But the whole thing here is that I want everyone to remember that you don't have to stay in that brand or even doing what you're doing. You can completely restructure your business in a way that fits your lifestyle and your overall vision, because that can shift.
Absolutely. It's your business. You can do whatever you want with it. Beyonce did R&B for 5 years, then movies, then country. Evan did entrepreneurial authors for years and then switched all the way over to YouTube.
I think people should just own their stuff.
Yeah.
Just, this is who I am. I'm changing this. This is why, whatever feels the best to you. That's something that Jay really taught me from day one. Whatever feels best to me, whatever feels best to you, do it. Do the thing that makes you happiest, because people are going to judge you if you do it their way or if you do it your way. Someone is always going to judge. So just do what feels the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the best part about doing what feels best to you that no one talks about, in my opinion, is that you'll get it wrong. You'll do what you feel is right and it will be wrong a lot. And that's okay, because that's how you adjust and learn. It's valuable feedback.
Yeah.
And as kids, we all did this. We would walk however we want or talk however we want or eat whatever we want. And what would we learn by eating whatever we want?
Get a tummy ache, right?
We would learn maybe dirt doesn't taste good. Maybe that's too much candy for today. But you adjust your system, your nervous system adjusts and adapts and refines itself from the wrong decisions. Putting your hand on the stove that first time feels like a good idea. It's bright, it's colorful, I don't know, it looks good, let me put my, it feels warm. And then you learn that was not a good idea and you never do it again. But people try, as we become adults and entrepreneurs, we stop being okay with this sort of make a mistake and learn from it process. We stop learning like we did as kids. And so people are like, oh, I'll just do what they told me in business. I'll just do what's supposed to or what the book said. It's like, no, I give amazing advice, like mind-blowingly good advice. But so do your parents. Like when they say don't touch the burner, that is mind-blowingly good advice.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter how good the advice you're getting is. Sometimes you need to make your own decision, get it wrong, and that will be wired into your nervous system where you wouldn't learn it properly from listening to good advice. And so when I was a kid, I used to take so much pride in my wisdom, my knowledge, my intellect, and I'm like, I could steer people in the right direction, and I would get really upset. I would take it as a personal like strike to my ego when people would not do what I said. I'm like, I taught you the correct thing. But as I matured and put all those ego ways behind me and stopped taking everything so personally, I realized that like sometimes you just need to touch the hot stove.
Yeah, it's a good point. And fail forward. Make a decision, and whatever you go with, it's still, in my opinion, it's still the right decision because there's something you need to learn from it.
If you choose the wrong person, no biggie.
Yep. And we're always learning every day. Every single day we learn something new. And, just got to be receptive to it. Be open to it.
Most people feel like it's the end of the world if they make a wrong choice, but it's just teaches you what not to do, and
it builds resilience, right? Get stronger every time.
Yeah. It feels like someone has given you a launch nukes button, and if you press it at the wrong time, you're gonna blow up the whole world or something. Business is not like that. It's more like swimming or cooking. If you get some water in your lungs or you burn a dish, it's really not the end of the world. Get back on the horse, take the learning, and you'll do better next time.
That's right. That's right. I love all of this so much. Gosh, what a great show today. Absolutely amazing. So if you could leave the audience with something significant or something important that you hold near and dear to your heart that you would like them to know or to think about or to just like marinate in their mind, what would that be?
That is a very good question.
And maybe it's something that you live by. It doesn't necessarily have to be in regard to the business, but life statement, quote, anything.
I feel like it's a weighty question with stakes, so I should give it some time. So I would say that business is love. It's a form of love. And you can make money in unloving ways, but it's never sustainable. And there's always blowback or repercussions that you won't be pleased with. And so the more loving you can be in business and in life, the better things are going to turn out for you in the long run. But when you do that, oftentimes in the short term, it looks grim. So you might commit to one person and your ICP, and then someone else comes on and you can feel they're not a fit, but you need the money and you're kind of desperate. And it's like, my business is going to go under. And it takes courage and faith to do the loving thing, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't be the loving thing. Like doing the super easy thing that is obvious is not, it's no one's like, whoa, that was so loving. Like, it's like, yeah, I mean, you did the obvious thing. And so to turn that away and say, I'm going to find funds from elsewhere. You're not a fit. This is not healthy. Like you can tell this person is going to be a nightmare client. Having the courage to say no is big. Or like I said with Evan, having the courage to shut down your website to pivot to YouTube is big. These kind of decisions take love and courage and bravery. And so I would say practice that.
So good. And I think just also tying in like loving the result of like loving the impact that you are trying to help others to create.
Even one person.
And yes, just one person. And we all know that that can create the ripple effect, which is so powerful. So thank you for that unique edge and unique standpoint, because I think that there's so much value to that and so much value today from both of you. I really thank you for being on the show.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I have one more thing I want to add to that.
Sure.
Is to really understand that connection is everything, because without our connection, he would still be by himself, a lone wolf, trying to make his business work alone. And I would be wondering why anyone cares that I'm great at making friends, right? And I would just be in the corner making friends for no reason. It's really important to find someone to help you, whether it's a coach like you or like him, or a partner like me that's going to help you really move yourself forward and hold yourself accountable, because connection is everything.
Thank you for bringing that in too. And at the end of the day, it's about relationships.
Yeah.
We know that. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in today to Dreaming Night Build. We really appreciate your support. As you can see, Cyn and Jay brought it to the table today. They brought so much amazing content, and we just really look forward to continuing the journey with them and bringing them on again very soon. If you would like to connect with them and reach out, we're going to be putting all of their information on the bottom of the video, also in the notes for the podcast. So thank you again for tuning in. And if you have not yet done so, we encourage you to subscribe.